Okay, so this is how the mask looks at the end. I'm going to show you how you can crochet your own for Babieween. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make the Catwoman beanie. So I'm going to use this. I got a huge ball of yarn. I don't remember what size it is. I'm assuming it's like a size 4 or 5, probably 5. It's pretty big, but this is a size 5 hook also. And what I'm going to start by doing is making a chain that goes all the way across my forehead, like my head, so like your circumference. So let me measure that out for you. So my head is about 21 inches. So it all depends, but I'm about 21 inches, so let's see how many chains it takes. So I'm just going to make a long chain and then I'll come back once it's time to connect. And you see it lines up right there. And I am going to keep it a little tighter because I'm going to end up doing double crochets. I'm just going to add one more for the turning chain. But the double crochets already naturally has a large stretch, or has quite a stretch to it, so I'm not too worried about like it fitting small. So what you're gonna do is once you have your chain, you're gonna pull your needle out like this. You're gonna follow your chain all the way to the beginning. And this is to ensure that there's no twists when you connect this chain. So I'm going to put it in through the back of the loop like this. I'm going to close it up. And then I'm going to slip stitch. And then I'm going to chain one. It shouldn't have any twists or turns. It should just be the way that it needs to. And then I'm just going to go ahead and try it on. You guys can try it on. Also make sure it fits the way that you want. So after you chain one, you're going to work your way around putting double crochets into each loop. So it's going to be the back loop actually. Hold on. So this is going to be our first stitch right here. And that end, don't worry, we're going to weave it in the next round because I find that it's a cleaner look when I weave it in the next round, not the first round. But you can do whatever. If you want to weave it in, you can. Okay, so you're just going to, through this, the V is the top loop. You're just going to put your double crochets in and then I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, so now that I've crocheted all the way around, it's going to look like this. I'm going to find the top loops. So this is the top loops for the V. And then I'm just going to slip stitch it closed. Chain one. I'm just going to weave my end up. So now I'm just going to double crochet and carry my tail in. And you're going to do this up until it reaches the point of where you want the opening to be, where you want your eyes, like the eye slit to open. So you're going to crochet all the way until that line. I'm going to line it up so that way it's straight. The line in the back is straight. So it's evenly, and you can count this, but I just like to guesstimate, so it's all up to you really. But so this is my other stopping point. So this is the distance for my eyes. We're going to stop here because this is where I want it opening to be. So I'm going to chain one and then I'm going to flip my work. And then I'm going to double crochet all the way down. And then I'm just going to keep going back and forth for this part. So I'm just right now double crocheting all the way around. back to the beginning. Okay, so now that I've reached this end, I'm just gonna keep going back and forth until you reach your desired length. So I'll come back once I'm done with that. And okay, so after a couple of rows of doing that, oh shit. Okay, so after doing a couple rows of that, it's gonna look like this. It's a little boxy, but we're gonna add slip stitches so that way it looks a little more cleaner. So I'm gonna slip stitch down here. Sorry, I'm gonna slip stitch into the first stitch. I'm gonna continue my slip stitches. And then I'm gonna insert my hook like this in through the back of that one and through the front of that one. I'm gonna pull the loop and then I'm gonna slip stitch them together to kind of have it look more seamless instead of rectangle-ish. And then I'm gonna continue my slip stitches all the way until I meet this end. So instead of doing a double crochet, I'm first going to start off with a single crochet a half double crochet, just to get that same seamless effect that I did over here, or kind of seamless, I don't know. And then I'm just going to work my way all the way till the end. And when I get to this end, I'm going to slip stitch it, and then I'm going to keep working up until I meet this end. So I'll come back once I get to that part. Okay, so I've reached the end now. So I'm just going to slip stitch at the beginning. So right here, this is the chain one, or this is the first double crochet. So I'm just going to slip stitch right there. And then I'm going to slip stitch again on this double crochet right above it. I'm going to turn my work, and now I'm going to double crochet all the way along, all the way back. And I'm just going to keep doing this till I reach this end, and then I'll meet you back once we're done with that. And really quickly, I'm going to put, this is a half double crochet. I'm going to put a double crochet in that one, just so that way it evens up. And then I'm just going to chain one and turn my work over and keep going. Okay, so now it's going to look like this. And you should be trying it on to make sure that it fits. Sorry, I'm watching a show. Let me turn that off. Okay. So now all we're gonna do is you're gonna double crochet all the way back till here, and then you're gonna chain 19 or however many stitches you missed in the middle. So I'll show you when we get back, but then you're just gonna continue, and then you're just gonna end it right here, and then make your double crochets as usual until you want it to be the bottom of the mask. And you can add increases or decreases depending on your face. I'm thinking of adding decreases to mine to make the mask slimmer, but I'll try it on as it goes, and I'll let you know what I end up doing. Okay, so now that I'm here, I'm just gonna do what I said, chain 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then I'm just gonna make sure that there are no and then I'm just gonna single crochet, then I'm just gonna slip stitch into the first double crochet up top here, and then I'm gonna proceed with the double crochet. So it's gonna look like that, and feel free to try it on and adjust it according. If you don't like how much space there is, or if you want more space, and you can add another you could add more rows, just depending on what you like, but I think this is gonna work for me. I'm just gonna try it on real quick. But you're just gonna keep doing double crochets until you reach your desired length. Okay, so real quick, I'm just gonna show you how you're gonna wanna make the double crochet. So this is the back of the chain, so it's just gonna be the top loop. And just like that, you're just gonna double crochet all the way around, and then I'll just meet you back when you're done making your double crochets on how long you want the mask to be. Alright, so this is the new mask, old mask. So let me just talk about a few changes that I made. So I made this part a little smaller than this. So it all depends on like the size of your head, but yeah. And then I went ahead and made the eye holes a lot bigger. But I did the same pattern, except I decided, because I didn't like how boxy and like wide it was looking on my face here, but really tight up here, I decided to add 4 decreases on. As you can see, it starts to like slim down a little bit. So I did 4 decreases. I would like line this up so it was like even. I would mark the middle stitch on each side, and then I would make decreases starting about like a little bit before I make the eye slit. I would do the decreases every other row, so I would do a decrease, no decrease, a decrease, a decrease, and I did about 4 decreases before I decided to just leave it, and I really like the way that it turned out. So right now I'm just going to show you how we're going to connect the top in order to make it look like the cat ears. I also ended up, another difference is I also ended up using a size 6.5 instead of a 5, just because I felt like this was too tight, and it all depends on like what you're looking for. Like you could do this, but I decided to just like make it a little more breathable. So that was the only differences I did really. But the whole tutorial is still the same. I just decided to remake the mask because I honestly did not want a frog. I was just annoyed of it, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna restart and use a different hook. So yeah, that's what I did. And then I ended up doing, this is 3 rows of double crochet after I made the long chain, and then I just cut my yarn and chained 1 after that. So right now what I'm gonna do is connect the top. So this is the middle stitch, so I'm gonna slip stitch my yarn and attach it here. I'm gonna chain 1, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put it in through that first loop, and I believe it was like a back loop. This one is also another back loop. So I'm just gonna slip stitch across I won't pull it too tight because I don't want it to like cinch up too much. But I'm just gonna match every stitch in order to not have any imperfections. And it's also very easy, as you just saw. I almost slip stitch into the same stitch. It's kind of hard because these ones are a little bit bigger. Just because I use the size 6.5, it looks like a little, like, it's hard to tell which, or well, it's not that hard to tell, but it's easy to make a mistake if you're not really looking. And my astigmatism, it's just, I get confused sometimes. But yeah, I'll come back at the end once I've slip stitched all the way across, and then I'm just gonna chain one and then tie my end, pull the end out, and then yeah, we'll be done. I made it to the last stitch, and then I slip stitch. I'm gonna chain one, and then I'm gonna chain, oh shit, did I miss one? Did I really miss a stitch? Hold on, just double checking. Oh, I did. Or did I not? Oh no, I didn't. I don't know, it doesn't look as pointy, so I'm gonna go back. Alright. So this is the end. I'm just gonna slip stitch, and then I'm gonna put one single crochet right there, just to have an extra little point. And then I'm gonna chain one, pull it close, and yay, you're finally done. Well, technically you still have to weave your ends in, but we're done. Now I'm just gonna, this is what it looks like, but I'm gonna turn it inside out. And then you want to weave your ends in from there, and then you're just going to point your little ears out. So the seam is on the inside. Show you, that's my little dog. This girl. Okay, okay, so this is it. That's the end of the tutorial. How you're going to want to weave your ends if you've never weaved your ends in before is... Sorry, I'm going to open the door for her, I swear. I'm just trying to finish this tutorial. Excuse her crying. You're just going to pull your yarn in through like this. She's fine. She's just a chorky. Oh my gosh. Minuta, I'm coming. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. But that's how you move your ends in. So you're just gonna do that for every single end. And I'll show you a video when I try the mask on. So this is how the mask ended up turning out. No, 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 no. Okay, that's better. No, 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 no. I don't even want to take it off. That's the thing. Like, it's so cute.